Hi everybody. So my reflection video is on my final project, Emulating a Pro Photographer. I chose to do John Myers because I really connected with his work. He does commercial photography as well as self-portraits, and the self-portraits that he does are very interesting because he tries to put a piece of himself into everything that he does, and he has a very personal connection with his work. And from that, you can see the personalities of the subjects, and it's not just a photo, but you get a piece of who that person is, and you kind of get a sense of what they like, or their personality, the type of person that they are. So I just found it very interesting on how he can do that just from a photo. So the pictures that I chose to emulate were self-portraits, and they were done with a lot of shadow. There was only highlights in certain areas, and there was like a pop of color in certain areas, and it made it really interesting. And I decided to emulate that to try to challenge myself, not only as learning more with photography, but as a designer, and going through and working with Photoshop more in the editing process, and just having myself learn more and grow more. Um, so the shoot that I did, I decided to have one of my friends pose as my subject, and I did a basketball player. Had him dressed in all white, so it was easier to manipulate the image as I needed to. So I added the pop of color. I added the orange, and only in certain areas. After I took all of the photos, I had to sit down and try to decide, which photo not only from a technical aspect worked, like as far as the lighting being in a good place, and there being shadows casted in certain areas, and me being able to work with that and manipulate that, but also, can you see a connection from that person? Can you kind of see, a little bit of his personality, and does it tell a little bit of a story? So once I decided on the image that I wanted to choose, took it into Photoshop and basically just played around with the highlights and the shadows, and I had to do a couple of different layer masks to get the selective color to add in, a little more orange into the ball, and change the color just to add the pop of color in certain areas, like Myers photos. The most difficult part was going through and trying to manipulate the shadows and the highlights and still have it look natural, and not, doctored, or have it look like a processed image, but still try to have it look like a cohesive photo. So once I went through my whole editing process and really fought with the shadows and highlights to try to make everything look the way I needed it to, my final image I was very happy with. I think that I got as close to emulating his style as I could. All of my work, I feel like, paid off, and I definitely learned a lot. So my final image is going to come up in some other photos and my whole process, and I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you think, and good luck in your upcoming classes. Thanks.